Hi viewers, and today we're going to be looking at datum constraints to fix mirroring problems. So the scenario I've got is that I've created this model and I've got a problem in that this base here isn't centered along the origin. So if we look at the body, look at the origin, and you can see that the origin here, this axis here, this plane, is not centered, and I really want that centered in the middle because I want to mirror across there. If I tried to mirror across there now with a sketch on here, what would happen is that if I place a sketch here and I wanted it to mirror to exactly the same place over here, then the origin isn't in the center, so it will mirror across and dump it around about the same width apart, but in the place that I don't want it. This has to be centered. And the reason why that's not centered is because this has been built with a different type of constraint. So I'll go into my top sketch. You can see I've got the constraint here and here, which puts it away from that origin. Now I will go and constrain this back so this is properly constrained, but it's going to break my sketch, and I can demonstrate that by deleting these constraints and then putting a distance in here. And I'm going to do 49 divided by 2 because that's my top one here, and if I close that, what will happen, our draft is in error, our thickness is in error. Nothing's actually moved, but our sketch would have moved. So you can see our sketch is moved off now. So we're in error, and this causes us an issue. How do we resolve this? Well, we can use a datum plane to actually resolve the mirroring problems. So our datum plane gives us another plane, and what we can do is actually mirror across that because it gives us an object to do that function upon. I'll show you how to do that now. So I'm going to click this base and I'm going to create a sketch on there. Now I must make sure that the body is active, so we'll right click and toggle active body. Let's try that again. There we go, and we can see that's off center. That doesn't matter. So if I created something on here and it was mirrored, I'll show you what actually happens. So I want to create something dead in the center here between these two and have it mirrored the same place. So I'll come in and I'm just going to place something like a hexagon there. Let's say that. I know it's not dead in the center, but that's where I want that feature to sit. And this would be a more complex feature for this model. So I'll close out that, and there's the feature there. If we pad that up, something like 20, so that's sitting there. I'm going to OK that. Now I'm going to mirror that feature, and I'm going to use the create a mirrored feature, or on a part design we go up to mirrored. So click on that feature, go to part design, mirrored. We can see the pad has been added, but look where it's dumped it. It's placed it right on the corner there. And if you look, I click top, you can see that this is equidistant away here, so it's actually mirrored it along this line. So how do we resolve this? Well, using a datum plane, we can actually use that to resolve that issue. And I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to cancel the mirror. So first things first, we've got to add a datum plane to this object. Now the datum plane is located here, create a new datum plane, or you can actually get to it from the part design and create a datum plane. In 0.19 this will be in a different place, and I'll be showing you later because I'll be actually doing this from scratch with a simple object and doing that in 0.19. So let's create the datum plane, and it just places it on the bottom there. Now it's a good idea to jump into model and locate the origin of your body and show it, so I can actually have a look to see what planes are available. So I want this YZ plane, so I go over to tasks. It's got selecting at the moment. If that doesn't have selecting, just click on reference 1 and just select the YZ plane. That's intersected along that YZ plane. Hit OK. Now we can adjust this YZ plane to the position along here. And to do that, we can actually go back into the datum. Find our datum. There's our datum plane. And we could have done this before we actually came out, because down the bottom we've got some attachment offsets here. Now I'm going to click top, and I'm looking to intersect the datum plane in the middle of here. So I'm just going to add a bit of angle to this so I can actually see my datum plane. So that's my datum plane there. And now we can actually adjust where that sits. So using the Z, we can move that into position. So that's nicely positioned now. Depending on what axis you want to move that, it depends on what you want to select here. But if you have problems, just try the different axes and see what happens until one starts moving. So let's intersect that nicely. That's exactly where I want it. Got to the top, hit OK. And now I can actually mirror that feature. I'm going to select top, just position that. I'm going to click my feature. I'm going to click create a mirror or part design mirrored. Now if we look down, it says the plane. We've got the vertical sketch axis. If we drop this down, we can actually select a reference. And now I'm just going to turn the model slightly, and I'm going to select that datum plane there. And the plane has changed to datum plane. And if we look back, we can see that's mirrored perfectly across where we want it. Just hit OK. And then we can click on our datum plane, press the space, and that hides that. And also we can actually get rid of the origin as well, hide that. Click on origin, press the space, and there's our mirrored feature. Okay, I've jumped over to FreeCAD 0.19, and what I'm going to do is build a body, very simple body, and show that demonstration from scratch. So create new, and come into the part design. I'm going to do a new sketch based on the XY plane. Okay, that. And I'm just going to create something on my sketch, but I'm going to not constrain it to any of these planes. So our bars are a bit all over the place at the moment, so let's get rid of that. And bring in my shapes and constraints. There we go, that's better. So I'm just going to create a simple square, and I'm not going to even bother constraining it, so I'm just going to make sure it's off center. There we go, not worried about scale, and we're just going to pad that slightly, something like 10mm, that'll do. This is just for the demonstration. Right, so we've got our base that we're going to work with, and I want to make a feature on this base. So I'm going to click on that face and create a new sketch. We can see it's off, and I'm just going to place a simple sketch along here, and I'm going to hit escape and bring in this side line here, and I want to constrain it to that side line, and I want that sitting around about 5mm away and 5mm also away from the edge, and we want to make that a distance of 5mm. I'm just going to set the height as well, so 33, say 35. So that's sitting there, that's the picture that I want to actually mirror at some point. So close that and pad it up, so okay that. And now I want to mirror that in the same position on the other side. And because it's off center, look at the origin. I've just clicked on the origin and pressed spacebar. We can see our origin is here. We're doing a mirror on that feature there, so I click that feature and use the mirror, create a mirrored feature, or go up to the part design. And as you can see, this menu is different to 0.18, and we want to apply a pattern, mirrored. You can see it's going to break because it's going to come out over here. But if we look at our center line, which is there, we take no notice of the base. So can I just hide that pad? No, I can't. Take no notice of this base, just pretend that's not there. Then you can actually see that this is the same distance away here. So that's not going to work. Let's cancel out that. So what do? We put a datum plane in there, and we want that centered along this feature here. So let's add the datum plane first. So go to part design, create a datum or datum, and then go up to create a datum plane there, or you can get to it from the menu here. We want this intersecting the add along the YZ plane. So I've got two options here. I can constrain this pad against the YZ, or I can do a constraint or a attachment more like against this face here. Let me just fix section. There we go. That's sorted out the rotation. So I'm going to click on the button here, so it's reselecting, and I'm just going to go for that face there. And now I can offset this by the width of this pad. So whatever this width is, if we divide it by 2, we can actually get the Z direction. We can place that in the middle. So let's have a look at what that is. So I'm just going to OK that. I'm going to come into my pad and my sketch, and we're going to set a width on that. So that's 45, so let's make that 50. So we've got 50mm there. so we want 25. Close that, double click the datum plane, come down to Z. It's minus 24 at the moment, that's minus 25 that. And we're clicking one in the field so it actually moves. If it doesn't move, go up to edit, refresh. So edit, refresh there. That's all good. So I'm going to go up to the top, OK that. And now I can do my mirror feature. So we click on the pad, come up to the mirror. We'll go into part design in a different place, so apply mirrored. Now see, it's gone over here. That's because it's mirroring along this plane here, and we have to actually say I want you to mirror along the datum plane. So we come down, you can see planes, drop that down, select reference, and then we select by clicking on the datum plane. And now that is set the correct distance away, like so. Just OK that, and there we have it. Okay, so that's how you would use a datum plane to fix mirroring problems along the origin. So we can actually place it in a different plane. And position our mirrored feature in the correct position if we have a broken orientation, or our orientation is somewhere else along here. If we want to change the position of this mirror, for example, if we wanted it to mirror, say about here, then we can actually move the datum plane itself. So just bring the datum plane into existence by clicking on it and pressing space. And we've got the X position down here, in position, X. And you can't actually change this at the moment. But what you can do is double click the datum plane and come down here and look at, in the Z direction, we can change this to wherever we want. Say right up close, come up to the top, hit OK, hit edit, refresh, and then you can see that's actually repositioned itself by the side of the datum plane and is equidistant away from where we actually mirrored it. So simple one, double click the datum plane, come in, down the bottom, change your Z axis to wherever you want, hit OK. Doesn't look like it's worked, but edit, refresh, and the mirror is actually broken because it's gone too far, it's gone actually off the model. So we can see that by coming into the mirror, we can see it there. All we need to do is double click the datum plane, come down and change the position of that plane. Hit OK, edit, refresh, and there it is. So that's how to fix mirroring problems with the use of a datum plane. Remember, there's other types of mirrors as well. We've got a mirror in the part, which will mirror the part as is. So if we add this feature as a body, then we can mirror that using the mirroring a selected shape. And that means whatever we do on that shape will get reflected on the other side. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I'll see you next time. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my site, and also I have a Ko-Fi site where you can actually donate a few pence or a few pounds, dollars, or whatever your currency is, and that's at ko-fi.com/mang0. and there you'll be able to help me fund my site, and all the money that I actually get from any funds will actually get pushed back into the channel. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing. I'll see you next time.